All right, this is going to be a lesson on Stir It Up by Bob Marley. It's going to come in with a okay, so what's happening there is we got a 1. So it's like after the beat, like do, 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 do. So it's like a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So it seems easy enough, right? But the tricky thing is to play this A chord, 7, 6, 5, 5, to play it with a, where you are staccatoing those chords by taking the tension away. And you don't want to take your fingers off the strings because you get open string noises. But if you can go and have this hand stop holding the chord so tight, it'll make that chord go away. And this hand won't even have to do anything but just keep strumming. So it's kind of a down up thing. It's like a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So practice that little thing. Try to get this hand over here to make that chord stop. And see if you can do it twice. So once with a down and once with an upstroke. So think about the 2. We're going to come in after the 1 on the 2. So it's like 3, 4, 1. And then you just get into a groove with that. They're going to switch to the D chord here. 7's on the top 3. Up to the 9's. That's an E chord. So that's basically the rhythm of the whole entire song. So let's try that a little bit. So I'm going to count you the 1, and then we're going to hit on the 2 and then we're going to hit on the 4 and. So I'll say the 3 also. So we got, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 3, switch. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and switch. Okay, so let's look at another thing. Here's a little bass line. Okay, so that's a 2 on the G string to 2 on the B string, and then 2, 3, 2. So we got 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and then we're gonna go 2, 3, and then bottom string 2, 5, and then up here 4, 5 in the second string, 4, 7 on the small string there. So. So let's take that nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. Two more times. Okay, let's go back to our rhythm. So we're going to come in on the 2 again. So 3, 4, 1, D, E. Okay, now something else that's fun is to try to solo with the A major pentatonic. We can add like a note or two to that to make it a little more fancy. But if we start here on this A note, we have that's a root note. So that's a good note to start with. We also have these lower notes, 4 and 2, on that bigger string. So we also have a scale. We can go from the A, we can go straight up in here. 2, 4, 2. We could put the 3 in there also. 5, and then 2, 5. Okay, so 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 5. So that's keeping with the major pentatonic scale, but we are adding this one note in there because it sounds cool. That's the D note, so it goes with that D chord well. So we got 2, 4, 2. That's a root note. 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 5. We could also look at this 2 and start sliding up. 4 to 6, 5, 7, 5, 7 into 9. There's that D again, so we can put that 10 there with that 9. So you got a lot of different options with the little scale that you could play. Now we can take that scale on the 7th fret of the big string to get into these higher notes. 7, and then 9 into 11, and then 9, 11 on the next one, and then 10. That's our A again. So you could do a little bend on that 12. So we have the 10 and the 12. We also have down here the 9 and the 10, the 12. So we have 9 and 11 and 10. Now that 10 can go 10 to 12, up to the 14, 14 up here. See how those work? So that's that happy blues scale. And most all the notes you're hearing on this solo come from that happy blues scale. We could go all the way up to here, all the way to the 17th fret, 17, 14, 17, 14, 16, 14, 16, 14. And that 14 right there is an A also. So we got. We could come up here to the 7, to the 10. So let's try that one more time. Now remember, when we're on this 10, we can also go. So we have that 12, 10, and 9. And we have that 10 there and the 12 here. Do a little bending on that guy. Okay, so you could use that scale, and this song is like 5 minutes. You could just jam around on that scale and have fun the whole time because it's just that same progression. So it's an easy one to jam on. So let's look at the rhythm one more time. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so that's some scales and some jamming on Stir It Up. Let's look at the bass line one more time. All right, thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint, Stir It Up by Bob Marley. Let me know if you have any requests, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Here goes a lesson on Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Now, an interesting thing here is with this reggae type stuff, we have staccato chords. So we got to learn how to make a chord go away really quick. So we're going to have this A chord, 7, 6, 5, 5, like an F shape, but with our first finger on the 5th fret, ring finger on the 7 here. So what we want to do is we want to get used to going like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's a basic thing we're going to do. So what we do is this left hand here can staccato a chord. It can make it go away, it can make it stop real quick just by releasing the tension. So when you go down to play this chord, you're pressing against the neck, of course, right? You're pressing with your thumb against the back. You're making it like a vice grip right there, right? So just by taking the tension away, not so much that you come off the string and make noises, you just want to still touch all the strings, still stay in the place that you're in with each finger, but just take that tension away and it makes the chord go away quick. Okay, so once we got that down, we're going to get into like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so it'd be like 16 of those for the intro. It'd be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it'd be like times 4 of that. That would be the intro of Three Little Birds. Okay, so let's take a look at a little melody riff that's in that intro. So when we go, chink, chink, think about if there was a bass note there, it would come in on probably the first beat. That sets up the key that we're in, A. We're going to be in this A major pentatonic scale for this little riff. And that'll go 4 times with the 4 measures of the chord that we did. So let's take a look at this riff. We got 10 and 12 on the second string. Kind of a hammer on from 10 to 12. Back to 10. And then little 12. 9 on that same string. Back to the 12, 10 on the second string. So. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. So what we did there, that was a D chord. So you know how a D is like 7, 7, 7, and 5? Well, a lot of times on guitar, when we're going back from these shapes, we'll just do a shape like this. Stay in the same exact space. You could do it with your first finger if you like that better, but we're trying to get these 7s on the 3 big strings. And we're trying to keep that bottom one muted, because that would have to be a 5, right, to go along with that. So if you make it just the 7s, you can use one of these different fingers. You can use your ring finger here. You can use your first finger. Just try to get that angle so that you don't have to play the bottom string with it. If you get a little bit of an angle going, so like that, little angle, then I can play all of those and not get the one on the bottom that I don't want. So let's look at that again. Don't worry about a thing. Down to D. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Back to A. Singing don't worry. Repeat this whole part. About a thing. Of course, this is our chorus. D. And every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning. Okay, this begins our verse. So the verse is going to go to the E after the A. So you could take if you have your first finger on the 7s, you want to start on the 9s up here. Rise up this morning. Smile with the rising sun. What was that E? 3 little birds. Back to A. It's by my doorstep. Go D that time. Singing sweet song. A. Back to E. Melodies pure and true. And then D. This is my message to you. Right back to A. Okay, so that goes A to E, A to D, A to E again, and then D back to A. Rise up this morning. And remember, like the rise up, the boom, that would be the downbeat, and we come in after the downbeat on the and. So rise up the Smile with the rising sun. E. 3 little birds. Back to A. To D. Singing sweet songs. A to E again. A melody's pure and true. And then D. This is my message to... Back to A. Back to the chorus. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. So the chorus is just A to D to A. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Verse again. To E. smile at the rising sun. A, three little birds. The D this time, my doorstep. A to E again, sweet songs, melodies pure and true. And then D, this is my message to you. Singing don't worry, chorus again, about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Okay, so we want to add a few things to this. Don't worry. See how I can get some percussive scratches on that in between the chords? Because a lot of reggae songs will have kind of a double beat and a single beat, like This one has more of the one stroke, but if you want to get used to some reggae things, you might mix in some little things like that, like 2, 3, 4. Put a little more rhythm in there. Now another thing I like to look at is there's some little cool fills that go along with the verse of this. Rise up this morning. It's got a cool little riff right there. So that's going to be that 6 on the G string, 5 on the little E string. So we're going to try to hammer in these 7s with these other fingers. You can see how easily that can go back to that lower thing? That's called a double stop, and you got like 2 different strings going on like that, doing little riffs. Okay, so we're doing the 6 and 5, 6 on the G, 5 on the little E, to the 7 and 7 on the same strings. And then open to those others, and then we're going to take those 7s, slide them to 9s, back to 7s, back to that first thing. So it'll be like, rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. So we did the same thing for E right there. So this is the 13th fret and the 12th fret. So we went to the 14s here. Now if you have trouble reaching up there, you could always do this E down here. Remember, E's down here too. So what they're doing up on that octave is basically, so you could easily do it down there low too. That'd be first finger on the G, open on the little string to the 2s, up to the 4s, 2s, and back to that. But if you can reach it up here, so that whole verse with fills everywhere would be like, rise up this morning, up to E, back to A, and then 10th fret to do the D one. And then we're back to A, back to E, and then we just go back to the rhythm on the D chord to A chord. So if we follow that whole verse around with these fills, we're going to look at it like this. It's going to go A up to E, A to D, A to E, and then we're back to D to A rhythm. Rise up this morning. This is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning. So that was kind of the chopped up, fancier version, that last little chorus I did. And of course you can just keep it real simple and play along with the song, just like this. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds by my doorstep, singing sweet song, a melody's pure and true. This is my message to you. So it's pretty good practice just to do that simple thing on the ands of those beats and try to sing along with it and get all those chord changes correct. 2, 3, 4. All right, hope y'all enjoyed that. Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Have a great day. See you soon. Harder They Come, The Harder They Fall by Jimmy Cliff by request. This has always been a favorite of mine. So we're going to have D flat to A flat. So D flat is the top three sixes. A flat is like an F shape on the 4th fret with your first finger. So 4, 4, and 5 and 6 going up. So we're going to have D flat to A flat, and then we're going to take this down 2 frets to G flat. We'll come back to A flat. So we got 4 chords there. We got. Now we're going to start with the first 2 again, and then we're just going to go to this lower one, but do it twice. And that's the whole intro, the kind of chord hits intro. So let's try that. Get that chord, get ready for that chord. 2, 3, 4. And then down 2, and back. The first 2 again. And then twice on the low one. Okay, and now we're getting ready to start the verse chords. So the verse chord is going to start in A flat. There's a couple ways to do it. You could think of how the organ goes. The organ goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the guitar part goes 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so let's go with the organ first. It's a little bit more simple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going down to the G flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. So that's kind of how the organ stabs at those chords. Then we're going down to F. And then B flat minor, 3, 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's go over everything we got so far. So our intro chords, D flat to A flat, 3, 4. G flat back to A flat, first 2. G flat twice. And then we're going to answer on the 2s. So we're going to wait for the 1. So it'll be 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 2, G flat, back, and then we're going F, B flat minor. Okay, so you could also do F7. That'd be 1, 2, 1, 1. Or you could do this trickier one, 3, 2, 4, 1. Has a really nice ring to it, but it's a lot harder to grab. But it's a good practice to get your hands tight, doing those different things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have the chorus up into the A flat. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. D flat. Twice on the D flat. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, B flat minor, chorus, A flat, G flat, flat. Do it again. A flat. Now we're back to the intro hits. Back to the verse. Pep it up a little bit with the speed. So 2, 3, 4, 1. Chorus. Chorus again. You could also do this D flat over here. 3, 1, 2, 1. And so if you're just playing one of those things like a reggae type thing where it's on the kind of off the beat, like on an upbeat type thing, you can kind of put some kind of scratches in there to give you like that downbeat that you're kind of missing if you're playing it by yourself and singing it or something. So the other thing is the guitar part is completely different with its rhythm. So we'd have the same hits and the intro and everything, but when we get into the verse, we're going to have a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and. So in this guitar rhythm, we're playing on the ands of the beats, where normally you would play an upstroke. But in this case, we're trying to make it sound real hard in the direction we're going and on that feel of that half a beat. So we're going to go with downstrokes anyway. And then we're going to have that one quick one on the third one where we want to go down up. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I really think it should be going with a down, even though it's like on an upbeat. So a lot of times that would be where you would upstroke if you had like down, up. But in this, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And pick it however you want to pick it with your, nail or with a pick or your thumb or whatever you're doing. So let's try that. So it's the and, 1 and 2 and 3 and a. So those are quicker. Those are 16th notes. So here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So yeah, you can get those scratches. You want to have muted strings, but you can add some percussive elements to make it feel like you have the downbeats with your upstroke type things. So once again, 2, 3, and. F. B flat minor. Chorus, A flat. G flat. D flat. Okay, then you have hits again. 3, 4. Let's try that verse again on the ands. So 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 1, 1 and 2, 1. One. F. B flat minor. Chorus, A flat, G flat, D flat. Now if you wanted to do a little finger picking on this, that's our kind of standard where we use the outside ones, the smallest one and the biggest one. And then we go strings 3, 2, 4, 1, and 3. That's our pattern. Take it down to down to F. B flat minor. A flat. G flat. D flat. And if you do it down here, then you got all 4 strings going. Let's do the hits one more time. One more time. All right, and if you haven't heard it, Jerry Garcia has a great version of The Harder They Come, The Harder They Fall with his solo band from back in the 90s and stuff. Okay, Jimmy Cliff, hope you all dug that. This will have a little tab, a little chord chart to go along with it. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you soon. All right, this next lesson is by request. Thanks for the request. This is No Woman, No Cry. This is off like the live version from the video of the Rainbow 1977. So some of the recordings of this are not exactly in tune with standard tuning, but this live version at the Rainbow is tuned exactly in tune. So it's a good one to play along with. It's a good 7-minute version. So we're gonna have this little walk up. So we have the 2 in the open, 3 and 2, 5 and 4, back to the 2 and open. Then we're gonna have a little picking pattern in this C chord. So I'm doing the 4th string and the 2nd string, and then the 3rd and the 1st. So those first 2 at the same time. So after I do the 4th and the 2nd, I go 3rd, 1st, 4th, 2nd, 3rd. Okay, and I use that thumb to come down for that. Now we're going to go to the G and do the same picking. Same with the A minor. But we're going to jump into that F quicker. So we got. And that one's going to kind of hit those 3 big strings on the F. And go big, little, 3rd, 2nd. So let's start again from the C here. So we we do that C pattern again, and then we go. Okay, so that high part was 5s on the 3rd string and 1st string, 4 and 3, 2 and 1, and open on the G and E string still. So you can slide into the 5s. You can hit a C there if you want. Or you could go little pull off 1 O to 1, and then go opens on the 3rd and 2nd, 2 1, 4 and 3. So we got so see how that A minor goes? Hit that big one and then switch to those big 3 on the F. So you could also do another one. So that was 3 on the big one with 1 on the 2nd. And as I go 3, 2, open, I'm going 1, 3, and open. So we got contrary motion, moving in different directions at the same time. C, and then. So you got a couple of options there. Okay, so that is the chorus. That's the intro and the chorus. So they do that a whole bunch of times. Now coming into a verse, we're going to do the C, G, A minor, F, just over and over again 8 times. So we're going to have C, G, A minor, F, C, G, A minor, F. So it just keeps doing that. So let's take that for these last 2 times. Let's slow that way down. So let's try that. So we got the 4th and the 2nd, and then we're going 3rd, 1st, 4, 2, 3. So 3, 4. And then try that same thing with the G. 3, 4. And then we got our A minor. C, G, A minor. Okay, and then we'd be back to the chorus. That always has the walk down of a kind. More verse. So that's where we just do this C, G, A minor, F over and over. Okay, so after that verse has gone, it's 8 times. Then we're going to get into like a reggae kind of a beat, like a. kind of like a C, 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 G, 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 A minor, G. You could even like stop hitting that F ahead of time and like make it more on the beat. G, A minor, F. Okay, so it's like 4 times of that reggae thing, and then you're back in the chorus. So whenever they say "No Woman, No Cry," that's your chorus, and that's the one that has that little walk down. Okay, so one more time on that. We got. Just end it with one of those walk downs and you're all done. No Woman, No Cry, Bob Marley. That's from the Live at the Rainbow Theatre, London, 1977. Check out that version. Like I say, you'll be right in tune with that one if you're tuned up normally. Thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint, and we'll see you soon. All right, this one is by request. This is an old favorite of mine as well. This is a Redemption Song by Bob Marley. So I'm going to play the little intro here for you. Okay, so let's take a look at that. We got the G string open. I'm using my middle finger, getting ready to hit this 2 and slide into the 4 here. So we're going to go. So you hit the 2 and then you slide it up to 4 real quick. So back to the open G, and then we're gonna have 5 on the G. You could slide into it if you want, and that's gonna go 5 to the second string, 5, 3, back to the 4 on the G string. So from the beginning, 5, 5, 3, 4. Then the second one. So that's going to go quick to the 3 after our slide there. And then it's going to end with 4, 5, 4, 2, 0. So those first 2 parts again. Now the third part is the same as the first part was. And then the last part is slightly different. So it does that same thing that part 2 did, but instead of going, it's just going to hit the 5, 4, 2, 0. So no 4 ahead of it. Okay, so the whole intro, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're into the verse. We're going to have G, we're going to have E minor, we're going to have a C chord that then takes its bass down to a D, and then we're going to have A minor. Okay, so our strum is basically like a down, down, up, down, up. You could do like 2 beats on those. Those are kind of splitting a measure, so G, whole measure, E minor, whole measure, and then C to the C with the D bass, kind of 2 beats each, A minor, whole measure. Okay, so G whole measure, E minor, whole measure, 2 beats each on the C to the C with the D bass, A minor, full measure. Second time through, we're gonna do this 3 times. Third time. And then on these here, you could go down, down, up, down if you want to. Now this time, we're moving into a new thing. We're gonna have the C, C to the D bass, and then D for 2 bars. And then we're like on the chorus. G, then we're gonna go C to D, back to G, and then C, D, E minor this time. C, D, G, C, D, G, and then C to D, back to a new verse. Okay, so let's go back through. After we did the first 3 times through that verse piece, we have the part that goes into D. So that part is G, E minor, and then C, C with the D bass to D, 2 measures. Then we have our chorus, G, C to D, G, C to D, E minor, C to D, G, C to D, G again, and then C to D, new verse, G, E minor, I got that C, D bass, A minor. Second time through. Now here, the second time through where we go to A minor, we're going to drop a D in there. So let's look at that one again. This is the second time through the second verse. 3, 4. Going to D. And then back to G, E minor. Back to the A minor this time. And then we're into that new part, heading towards the chorus. We got the C, D bass, and then D, 2 bars. Now we're in the chorus again, G, C to D, G, C to D, E minor, C to D, G, C to D, G, C to D, and then we're gonna have, that's the end of the singing. We're gonna have one more, G, C to D. Now we got this little bridge, it's gonna be E minor, whole bar, and then C to D. And you can kind of chug on that one a little bit more. We're doing this 4 times. Now we're into a new verse. A minor. Now this second time is when we end on the D. To the D. Third time, we're back to that A minor. And then we have that after these 3 times piece moving into the chorus. Going to a D, 2 bars of D, chorus. C to D, E minor this time. C, D to G. C to D. Now here we're going to go E minor again. C to D. E minor again. C to D. Now we're going back to G. C to D. Now this last one, we're going to do the C to the D bass. And then we're going to get into an A minor. So that's like 2 bars of that A minor. It's kind of an A minor 7. It's got that 3 down there. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to this A minor 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. So it ends on the 3 of the second measure there. So once again, this ending, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so it ends with an A minor 7 to an A minor 6. Kind of has an abrupt kind of ending there. Okay, so let's go through everything here again. Let's go to the last verse and do the whole out from the last chorus. So last verse, 2, 3, 4. Going to the A minor. This one's going to D. A minor. And then we're into the next part. Heading into 2 bars of D. Chorus, G. C to D. G. C to D. E minor this time. C to D. G. C to D. Now here we have E minor. C to D. E minor again. C to D. Back to G, C to D, G, last time. Now we're going to the C, D bass, and A minor 7, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. All right, Redemption Song, Bob Marley. Let's go through the intro one more time, and we'll be all done with this one. So 2, 3, 4. Okay, the rest of it is fairly simple. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint. Please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have any requests. Like I say, this one was by request. And just, if they happen to be one of my favorite songs of all time and you request it, it's probably going to happen pretty soon. So thanks for watching, y'all. See you soon.